Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Detroit Lions, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this. Today we are diving into something that matters more than most people in this fan base have been discussing this offseason, and it connects directly to one of the most frustrating patterns from last season. The Lions gave up big plays at an alarming rate in 2025, and the coaching staff appears to have identified exactly why, and more importantly, exactly how to fix it. The answer is Chuck Clark. Let us break down what the data actually shows, what the coaching staff is saying about him, and why this addition might quietly be one of the most important moves this organization has made this entire offseason. Start with the numbers, because the data tells a story that matches what Lions fans felt watching games last year. Detroit ranked as the 10th worst team in the entire NFL in explosive play rate allowed, sitting at roughly 23rd out of 32 teams. That is a genuinely bad number. But here is where the analysis gets interesting. When you look at all the surrounding metrics, the Lions were actually middle of the pack in yards per play allowed, middle of the pack in EPA per play, and reasonable in points per drive allowed. What that tells you is that the explosive play problem was the primary driver of the defensive deficiencies, not a broad systemic failure across everything. The defense was not categorically bad, it had a specific, identifiable vulnerability that cascaded into everything else. And that makes intuitive sense when you watch the games. There were too many third and longs where the Lions simply could not get opposing offenses off the field. Too many moments where a coverage bust or a miscommunication in the back seven turned a manageable situation into a 30-yard gain. The fix to this kind of problem is not necessarily adding faster athletes or more talented pass rushers, though that helps too. The fix is communication. It is having someone in the back seven who can read the offense pre-snap, alert his teammates to what is coming, process information at an elite level in real time, and eliminate the confusion that leads to blown assignments and wide-open receivers, getting that explosive play rate from the upper 6% range into the under 5 to 5% range that separates good defensive teams from great ones would not just improve that one metric. It would improve everything downstream. Yards per play allowed drops when you are not giving up 30-yard chunks. Points per drive allowed drops when opponents are not finding the end zone on explosive plays. EPA numbers improve across the board. The math is straightforward. Stop the big plays and the entire defensive picture improves significantly. Chuck Clark is the answer to that specific problem, and the coaching staff is saying so directly. Safeties coach Jim O'Neill was effusive in his praise in a way that went beyond standard offseason positivity. He noted that Clark has a chip on his shoulder. Last time this season he was sitting on his couch, and now he is running with the first group, treating every single rep as meaningful with a stone-cold serious approach to football. But the more important quote from O'Neill is the one that speaks to what Clark actually brings to this defense structurally. He described Clark's ability to anticipate on the grass, to process information quickly, and to make the players around him better as a quality that is almost impossible to evaluate from the outside until you have him in the building and see it every day. And then he said the words that frame everything: there are not many alpha communicators in the back seven in the NFL, and Chuck Clark is one of them. He can run the whole show back there. That specific label matters enormously in this context. The Lions were 23rd in explosive play rate allowed last year, not primarily because they lacked talented athletes in the secondary. Thomas Harper graded 11th out of 91 safeties on PFF and played admirably in a fill-in role. Avonte Maddox played well in limited opportunities. And Brian Branch was battling injuries rather than playing at anything close to his ceiling. The problem was communication. When Branch and Kirby Joseph are healthy and together, they bring years of combined experience They have developed a shared language for what they see from offenses, and they can organize the secondary in real time the way elite safety duos do. When both of them are hurt and the players behind them step in with less experience operating together, those communication gaps get exposed. The most telling detail from OTAs and minicamp is that Thomas Harper is not back there with the first unit. After a strong statistical year, Harper is not getting that bump in status from the coaching staff. And once you understand the framework being applied here, that makes complete sense. Harper is a good athlete whose athleticism does not separate him dramatically from Clark or Maddox. What Clark provides is the communication quality, the processing speed, the ability to be the alpha voice in a secondary that needs exactly that. The coaching staff is explicitly prioritizing communication and experience over pure athleticism at this position, and Clark's 123 games of NFL experience plus a 16th out of 91 PFF grade from last season despite playing in a completely different system as a 30-year-old make him exactly what this defense has been missing. Is Clark Brian Branch? Absolutely not, and nobody is claiming he is. Is Maddox Clark going to be Branch Joseph? No, but the gap between what the Lions had last year, with fill-in safeties scrambling through communication breakdowns, and what they have now with an alpha communicator organizing the back seven might be significantly larger than it appeared from the outside. Closing that gap even partially, getting that explosive play rate down 1.5 points from where it was last season changes the entire defensive picture for a team that has legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. Training camp is just over a month away. Chuck Clark is going to be one of the most important storylines to monitor once those pads go on and we start seeing real competitive action in coverage situations. The data identified the problem. The coaching staff identified the fix. Now we get to find out if it works. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already, share this with your Lions fan community, and we will see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.